All right, well, the stream should be up. It should be running. If you were here for my stream last night, which is currently unlisted because it was super laggy, you would know that it was really laggy and it was a complete failure. But I worked some things out. Hopefully, this stream is a lot better, a lot more smooth because we're here. Game 1 is in the books, and I'm hyped because we're blessed, guys. We really are blessed. What we're watching is so awesome. The first ever finals trilogy, Warriors, Cavs, these two super teams. Just the amount of talent that's on the floor. You got KD, Steph, LeBron, Kyrie, Kevin Love, Draymond Green. I mean, so much talent on the floor. We really are blessed as basketball fans, and in my opinion, just humans in general, to be watching such great entertainment, such great performances by these athletes who, in my opinion, basketball athletes are some of the best in the world. So, I was watching this game and I was just like, man, this is so awesome. It doesn't matter who you're rooting for, the Warriors, the Cavs. It's just such an awesome thing to experience that much talent on the floor at the same time in the best league in the world on their biggest stage. I mean, it's just fantastic. So I can't wait to talk game 1 with you guys. Let's get the chat going. Let's keep this up. I'm going to hit up Instagram right now so that we can get more people in the chat, and then we'll get right into it. So let's hit it up here on Instagram. All right, guys, game 1 live stream up now. The stream is alive and healthy. I got the live healthy badge. YouTube is telling me the stream is lit, people. Let's go. youtube.com/JAHRONMON. All right, we got that on Instagram. You guys just saw an Instagram post behind the scenes. That's what it looks like. We post this on both channels. And then we'll put the caption in. But you guys got to let me know, what did you guys think of game 1? I'm going to look at the chat in a second, and then we'll share with each other what exactly did you see. Make your predictions. What did you call before this game? Does game 1 change your mind? Let me know all of that good stuff in the comments or in the chat. So join the live stream at youtube.com/JAHRONMON. All right, here we go. All right, so let's check this. Let's check the chat. Lance Dela Cruz says he still believes the Cavs in 7. Now, I don't like predicting 7-game series because, in my opinion, that 7th game, it's impossible to predict. Literally impossible. Anything could happen. As we saw last year, did the better team win? Maybe. Maybe they didn't. Who knows? Game 7, it's so unpredictable. If anyone tells you, I told you they were going to win Game 7, they're just guessing. They're just guessing, and they turn out to be right. It's a 50-50 pick. Your team either wins or they lose. So, depending on how you see those odds, it's either good or bad. But it's just impossible. It's impossible to predict a Game 7. So I don't like predicting 7-game series. If I do predict a 7-game series, I'm just going to say this series is going to 7, and I don't pick a winner. I picked last night, if you joined that terrible stream, I picked the Cavs in 6. I just thought they were more impressive throughout the playoffs, even though they did lose one game against the Celtics and the Warriors went undefeated the first 3 rounds. Just watching the game, I thought the Cavs were more impressive. I thought that they just looked more dominant, and I know the stats may not support that, but just the eye test, I thought that the Cavs coming into this series, I thought they were going to win in 6. I mean, betting against LeBron, I'm not really in that business. How Kyrie showed himself in last year's final really had me, thinking the Cavs are the favorites in this. And I think it's ridiculous that they're not the favorites. But that just shows you, Vegas odds, they really go what's on paper and not what they're actually seeing, So, I picked the Cavs last night. I'm still sticking with that pick because, it is game 1. We saw what happened last year. The Warriors blew a 3-1 lead. So, anything could happen. So, I'm still sticking with the Cavs, even though game 1 really was one-sided, at least for 3 quarters. That first quarter was a little bit close. But for the most part, the Warriors dominated this game. Let's get another I'm seeing Warriors in 6, Cavs in 6, Warriors in 5. Oscar Gosling said that was his prediction before the series started. He's a Timberwolves fan. We're seeing Tanner Knight says Warriors in 6, Nike Addict, Warriors in 5. So yeah, I think that the Warriors sweeping predictions are just kind of, I mean, come on, really, LeBron has done enough in his career to this point, especially, and even just based on last year, to respect at least one game. In my opinion, he should get at least 2 games. You know, I think a 6-game series prediction is right there in the sweet spot. I think that's the most likely outcome. I don't think the Warriors, I would be really surprised if the Warriors sweep. I don't want the Warriors to sweep. Sure, it would be cool to see a team go 16-0 in the playoffs. Only one team has really come close to that. That was the 2001 Lakers, where Allen Iverson stepped over now head coach of the Cavs, Tyronn Lue, in that game 1 where the Lakers were a little rusty. They had a lot of time off. The Sixers just came off a 7-game series with the Bucks, and they came out and they upset the Lakers in Staples. So that was the closest a team has ever got. I don't want to see that. I want to see a close, tough series. 7-game series would be amazing. 6-game series as well. But like I said earlier, I got the Cavs in 6. Now, I wrote some notes during the game, and I just want to bring up some points. In the first quarter, we had JaVale McGee. Now, we all know that there was a anonymous Cavs player, which Dave McMenamin reported that this particular Cavs player says he doesn't think JaVale's going to play a lot because he's not smart enough. He's not smart enough to stay on the floor. And I thought that was true, but ridiculous. I really thought JaVale played great in this playoffs and towards the end of the regular season, and I thought he could come in and make an impact, and he did. JaVale made a huge impact on this game. He did get dunked on by LeBron, which was an amazing dunk. I got up out of my seat at the restaurant I was at because it was that cool. But JaVale did let's take a look at his stat line. JaVale played really good, in my opinion. He played 6 minutes. That's it. But JaVale had 4 points. He had a block, an assist, and 5 rebounds. 3 of those rebounds were offensive. So he had 3 offensive rebounds in 6 minutes. That's really good. He only missed 1 shot. So I thought JaVale, I was like, oh wow, JaVale's going to be a weapon. I love his energy. I like his athleticism. He does do stupid things. Like if you throw a pump fake, JaVale is going for it no matter what. Even if you're on the perimeter, this guy's 7 feet tall. He does not need to be jumping on jump shots around the perimeter. He gets called on fouls all the time for those. So he does have his flaws, but I thought he played really good, and I would love to see more JaVale McGee. If the internet was a person, they would have picked JaVale for Finals MVP. I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, he's perfect for this day and age, the internet. JaVale's so funny. We all know his history with Shaq and the Fool. I thought he played really good. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of JaVale? I see Kyle Noel Music. Shout out to Kyle. He says JaVale is the GOAT. I just loved his energy. I just thought it was good. I thought we were going to see more of him. But after that first time he came off the bench, we never saw him again. And I wonder if the game was a little closer, would we have seen JaVale? You would think that since it was kind of a blowout towards the end, Mike Brown would want, and the Warriors would want to get JaVale out there just to get a couple more reps, but that didn't seem to be the case. Maybe something's bothering him. He might be a little banged up, but I was bummed that I didn't see more JaVale. Oscar Gosling says the Warriors don't play JaVale enough, in his opinion. I agree. I don't think he should be playing 25, 30 minutes a game, but at least 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, 20 minutes max. He gets in there, he gets rebounds, he blocks shots, he changes the geometry on the floor with his shot blocking ability. I mean, he scares guys going to the rims, or at the very least, he's going to entice challenge at the rim. Kyrie might see him and be like, okay, I'm going to get JaVale. And, I think JaVale can hang, he's either going to foul him, or he's going to alter the shot, or he's going to get a block on Kyrie. And I'm going to live with those 3. Make him make free throws at the line, block him, or alter the shot to the point where Kyrie, who I'm already calling, he's the best layupper in the history of the game. Just the best. I mean, just amazing. I'd rather take those 3 options against Kyrie than just Kyrie making Zaza look like a complete fool. Speaking of Zaza, he passed up a ton of open shots. He's got to hit those. If he's going to be the man they're going to leave open, he's got to at least make the Cavaliers think he's ready to take that shot. But right now, the Cavs are just showing and like kind of freezing him, and Zaza is making a pass in traffic, or he's passing it back out to the perimeter after the Warriors already collapsed the defense. Zaza, hit the shots, please. But let's get back into the chat and see what you guys are saying. I like this comment. David TV14 says, JaVale can't be compared to JAHRONMON. That's true. I'm only 5'8", 5'7", so, you know. Let's see what else. Did you see LeBron bump Draymond? Think LeBron trying to get Draymond thrown out again? You know, that comment was from Nike Addict, and I think that this is a lot of people's not problem, but this is a reason why people aren't very welcoming to LeBron. I'm not going to say that I feel this way, but, you know, LeBron, you know, Nike Addict thinks that LeBron is trying to get Draymond thrown out again, and this is just something that Kobe, Michael, you know, Larry Bird wouldn't do, or Magic, you know, whoever, whatever great you want to say. This is something they want to do. They want the best player on the floor, and they want to beat that guy at basketball. Not all this other stuff with technicals, fouls, and the psychological mind game. And you know what's funny about that is that Phil Jackson took care of all of that for Michael, for Kobe, for Shaq. And so I think people don't like that about LeBron. I don't know if it's true or not, but some people believe that LeBron tries to, you know, not make it easier on himself, but he plays this other game where these old heads who like Michael, Bird, Magic, and Jordan, and even Kobe, these old heads, they just want to see LeBron beat that guy at basketball, not all of this extra stuff. So, I mean, do you guys understand what I'm saying with that? I think some people have that problem with LeBron. I used to have that problem, but you know, I had that problem with a couple of different guys. I'm having a problem with saying problem right now. My bad, guys. But I want to update on the stream. Is it working? Is it smooth? How's the audio? Is it too loud? Is it too quiet? Let me know all of that good stuff. I'm going to check the chat and keep my eye on that. Let me go back to my notes. Kyrie Irving. Let's just talk about Kyrie Irving for a second. His total points, I'm taking a look at the box score, was 24. He shot 10 of 22. But to me, he was the MVP of the first quarter. And I think that his teammates failed to come up with him in that first quarter. Not LeBron, but, you know, these other guys. Because I thought in the first quarter, I thought it was going to be a long game. And it was going to be close. And it was going to go down to the wire. And that wasn't the case, obviously. But I think that Kyrie was so good in that first quarter. And I said earlier, I think that Kyrie's the best layupper in the history of the game. I mean, he's so amazing. And he's not really ripped or built, but that guy has to have a really strong core, because the things he does in the air, he shows the ball one way, he's coming up the totally different way. So that power in his core compared with or coupled with his English off the glass, it's second to none. It's second to none. He's the best layupper in the history of the game. The things he can do is just stunning. Eye-popping, jaw-dropping. It's so amazing. Whenever he makes an awesome play like that, I just yell out, "Don't reach, young blood," like Uncle Drew, because, man, that guy is so amazing. So he was the MVP of the first quarter to me. I think that the funnest players in this series to watch is 1A, Steph Curry, 1B, Kyrie Irving. When those guys are on fire, it's a lot more entertaining than when LeBron's on fire, than when Kevin Durant's on fire, than when Clay is on fire, Draymond, whoever you want to name, Kevin Love. Kyrie and Steph are the most aesthetically pleasing players to watch in this series, perhaps in the NBA right now. So Kyrie Ian Dub says Kyrie has peak body control. I completely agree with you, Ian. Shout out to Ian, longtime viewer of the channel. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate everyone who's in the live stream right now. This is one of my favorite things to do. NBA Finals time. It's just fantastic. So in the first half, after the first half, the Warriors had a 20-1 assist to turnover ratio. So that means 20 assists, to 1 turnover for the entire half. And turnovers are the Warriors' Achilles heel. So the way they were able to control the ball, I thought was really impressive. And if they're going to keep doing that, they're going to win every game. You saw in the third quarter where the Cavs cut down a huge lead to, I would say, I think it was like 12 points or something. Steph had like 2 or 3 turnovers in a row. And that's how the Warriors let other teams back in the game when they turned the ball over. But in the first half, they didn't turn the ball over. So, they won the first half. They won the game. And I thought they played with the ball very nicely, very smooth. Let's see. Let's check the chat. Oscar Gosling says, to be fair, JaVale is on fire. He and the Warriors are fun to watch. I absolutely agree with you. Brian 12ish says, Love was like Rodman on those boards, though. So, Brian, I agree with you. If you look at the numbers, you're going to say, wow, that's like Dennis Rodman. But when you watch Dennis Rodman, the way he rebounded, he was so fun to watch. It was kind of like Draymond, but not annoying in any way. It was just so fun to way Dennis Rodman, because he was usually smaller, skinnier, and slighter than these guys he was out rebounding, and he did it with hustle, heart, and will for the game. And so I agree that Love was getting a lot of rebounds like Rodman, but the way Rodman got the rebounds was just much more entertaining in my opinion. But Love did play very good on the boards, although he didn't have a great shooting night. He did have a really nice pump fake off the dribble going to his left three-pointer where he turned around before the ball even went in. He knew it was going in. So, I think Love is feeling good. I think that he just missed a couple of shots, and he's going to play very well in this series. I really do believe that. All right. So, let's check the chat. Let's see. Shanghai Bro 30 says, what changes would you do or implement if you were the Cavs GM or the Warriors GM for the next game? Well, the GMs aren't going to do anything. The GMs don't do anything. This is any adjustments you see from game to game, that's the coaching staff. So, Shanghai Boy, I think that was your name, Shanghai Bro 30. It's not the GM, it's the coaching staff. But if I were the Cavs coaching staff, what I would do to adjust is not double. And I have this in my notes. Before the finals, I mentioned on Twitter, by the way, follow me at JAHRONMON on Twitter and Instagram. I'll put that stuff right here. It should be right here. It's a mirror image right here. Anyways, I mentioned on Twitter that the Cavs were doubling a lot and their rotations were pretty good, but they were giving up a lot of open shots. And I remember mentioning on Twitter, I said, the Cavs can't play the Warriors this way. They just can't do it. If they do that, the Warriors are going to knock down a shot, because instead of Avery Bradley, it's going to be Steph Curry. Instead of Isaiah Thomas, it's going to be Klay Thompson. Instead of Jay Crowder, it's going to be Kevin Durant, etc., etc. So they can't be doing this. It's one thing to leave DeMar DeRozan open and PJ Tucker open. It's another thing to leave the Warriors guys open. But they continued to double in this game. I have no idea why they were doing that, because they got open shots nearly every time the Warriors or the Cavs doubled on the Warriors. So if I was the Cavs GM, I would say, look, you're going to have to live with one-on-one matchups. If Kyrie gets on Kevin, which is when they doubled a lot, the Cavs, tell Kyrie to make Kevin shoot outside jumpers so that maybe you can get a long rebound and get out onto the break. Because when the Cavs are on the break, they're unstoppable. I think they're better than the Warriors in that respect, running the fast break, because, you got Kyrie, you got LeBron James, probably the best fast break player in the history of the game. Magic might be up there as well, but Magic didn't run as many fast breaks as LeBron, at least I don't think. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but that's what I would do. I would say, look, we can't double. Or you could do the thing, if you don't like your matchup, you could do a fast off-ball switch where you recognize the mismatch early. And what the Warriors do is, if they don't like who Curry's guarding, they'll switch off the ball really quickly, and they'll force the other team to make a difficult pass over the top of the defense or through traffic because of the second help guy they're leaving, and he's in a little bit different position on the floor as opposed to the first pass option, which would be the mismatch. So if I were the Cavs coaching staff, that's what I would do. I don't like the fact that they were doubling off this Warriors team. To me, it makes no sense. So The Rock I love The Rock. He says Tyronn Lue looks like Ice JJ Fish, and I wanted to mention this. He kind of does look like Ice JJ Fish, but whenever Tyronn Lue gets shown on the broadcast, it looks like he has no idea what he's doing. I'm not saying he has no idea what he's doing. I'm just saying that's what it looks like. He just has this face where he's like, well, I don't know what to do. So I wonder if Tyronn Lue has the ability to make in-game adjustments, because I think he's proven that he's had the ability to make adjustments after a game and before a game. But in the game, in the heat of the moment, does he have the ability to make adjustments and get through to his guys and switch up the game plan based on what he's seeing in the game? That's part of being a great coach, because your game plan, you might come in and it might just get demolished, or it might not be working the way you want it to, and you have to tweak little things to get your team back on track. Phil Jackson did this a lot. If he didn't like how a guy was playing, he would just throw out a bench warmer in there and be like, look, this guy's energy is what I want from you. That coupled with your skill that you have, which is superior to this bench warming guy, like, Mitch Richmond, or, like Shannon Brown, or, any of these guys, Jordan Farmar. If you pair your skill, but put the effort these guys are going in, because he knew these bench warmers, like, I'm in the finals or I'm in a big playoff game, I'm going to give all my heart. If you pair your skill, which is superior to these guys, with that kind of effort, we're going to win the game. So I wonder if Tyronn Lue has that ability to make in-game adjustments. If I had to take a guess, or an educated guess, I would say he doesn't. And does he need it? I don't know, because you got one of the smartest players to ever play the game in LeBron, probably making those adjustments on the floor. So I don't know. So the audio is off for you. Is anyone else's audio not working? Broden says the audio is off for him. Oh, so okay, the audio is lagging a little bit, but you could still hear me, guys. Hopefully. Let me just check on the stream. I'm gonna do the pop-out chat. All right. So hopefully that'll make the stream a little healthier. Hold on 1 second. All right. So you guys got to let me know how the stream's going. All right. So people are saying the audio. Some people are having trouble with the audio. Some people aren't. So how far behind is the audio? Like a couple seconds. It's lagging. Any of that? Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. Let's just move on here. We'll wrap up the stream in just a little bit, but I want to talk about Clay, or actually, let's talk about Steph Curry for a second. So Steph Curry, there was this notion about Steph, he's got to play good, he's got to, show up, or because a lot of people were saying he doesn't play well in the finals, and I kind of agree with that, but I think it's only relative to how he plays in the regular season, which is fantastic. I mean, last year he had one of the best regular seasons of all time. I mean, his player efficiency, his numbers across the board were so astronomical that his performance in the playoffs didn't really live up to that. So it kind of gave this effect that he was playing a lot worse than he did. But I do agree, he hasn't been playing as well in the finals in particular than he has in the playoffs or the regular season. But tonight, he played really well. 28 points, 11 for 22, 10 assists, 6 rebounds. I don't think he gets enough credit for his rebounding. He's not going to out-muscle someone, but he's going to be in the right spots. He has really good anticipation of how the ball is going to come off of a miss, off the backboard or off the rim, and he gets a lot of rebounds. Everyone asking about the Curry 4, I'm going to record a video tomorrow about it, a reaction, first impression and video, so stay tuned for that. But Steph played really well in this game. To me, I said earlier, Kyrie and Steph are the most fun guys at their peak when they're on fire to watch in this series. So just based on that fact, I want one of those guys to win Finals MVP, because if they win Finals MVP, it means they were on fire. And I want Steph to win Finals MVP so I could see that on fire type of performance. So Either Steph or Kyrie. That's not my pick for the Finals MVP because I think Durant is the most logical choice. But I'm saying the most fun, the one that I want is Steph. He's one of my favorite. He's my top 3 favorite player in the league to watch, just based on how he plays. Yeah, I would like to see Steph win the Finals MVP, but he's got to play better than he has in years past. But if he keeps playing like this, he's gonna have a good shot. But I mean, there's a guy standing in his way, and that guy is Kevin Durant. I mean, this guy, 38 points, 14 of 26, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. 8 assists from Kevin Durant. That is just unreal. I mean, we knew that he was decent at playmaking, but he looked really good in this game. And I wasn't a fan of how Kevin was playing in the playoffs this year. I've never been a fan of how he plays when he does not have the ball, whether it be on offense or defense, dating back to his Oklahoma City days. I just didn't like it. He didn't show effort. He didn't show heart's not the right word, but he just seemed to ball watch or just kind of get lost out there if he doesn't have the ball. And I have to say, this game, his effort was A1. He really hustled. He had one play where he didn't dive for the ball and the Cavs got the ball back in the first quarter. And I was like, there's the same old Durant again. But after that, everything. Second effort was there. The playing off the ball, he was moving. That was my biggest thing about Oklahoma City. Not just Durant, but Westbrook as well. If they didn't have the ball, what were they doing? They were doing nothing. They were standing at the top of the key. They weren't cutting. They weren't using their athleticism to put pressure on the defense. But Durant in this game showed up to the hype. I think he has the 4th highest scoring average ever in the finals. And I know he only has 5 games under his belt, but that's still pretty impressive, regardless of how many games you play. If you gotta at least play 3 or 4 games. But I mean, he showed up, 38 points. That's crazy. Durant's effort, if he keeps playing like this, he's gonna win Finals MVP, no doubt. But I mean, I really enjoyed how he played as a whole. So moving along to LeBron James. LeBron James played good. I mean, look at his line: 28 points, 15 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 blocks. He shot 9 for 20, so that's a little bit under 50%. But this is how crazy LeBron is. For anyone else, that's a fantastic line. If Durant gets that, that's a good line. If Curry gets that, he would never get 15 points or 15 rebounds. But if he gets that, that'd be fantastic. If Kevin Love gets that, that would be an amazing line for him. But for LeBron, this is just a good line. And I think that if he put up astronomical numbers like he has in these past 2 finals, 35 and 15 or 40 and 15, the game would have been a little bit closer. But I talked about earlier how some people have problems with LeBron playing another game and not the game that he's actually in sometimes. And I think that this game was a prime example of that. It looked like he was just kind of charting the waters after the lead kind of got out of hand, or, in the middle of the third quarter, he was just kind of doing different things to see how the Warriors would react and defend it. And then he's going to adjust for the next game. And you never got that feeling with, Michael, Kobe, Magic, or Bird. They always were like, I'm trying to win this game right now. I'll worry about the next game after this game. But right now, I'm trying to win this game. So do you guys agree with that? Let me know in the chat, because I think LeBron was just kind of, seeing the mood for the series. And he did have a good game, but I kind of felt in the middle of the third quarter he was just kind of checking it out and seeing how they would play things, how they would play him, so that the next game he could adjust and hopefully come out with the win on that for the next game. So that pretty much takes up everything. Oh, one more thing about LeBron. I thought that his demeanor was amazing. This was the first time I ever thought LeBron looks like a Class A teammate, because he wasn't yelling at his guys. We know that he does that, where he'll yell at his guys for missing a defensive rotation or something, when it's actually LeBron who was supposed to rotate or didn't give effort or anything like that. But his demeanor this game was so good, and after the game, it looked like he was making a beeline for the locker room, but then he stopped, turned around, and gave every one of his teammates some dap, a high five, and I thought that was fantastic. If I'm LeBron's teammate, I'm like, I'm going to go out and die for that guy next game. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to give that guy my heart because he really did look like a fantastic teammate. I think that he did as well with the refs. I think he played with the refs a lot. He has the tendency to really, get on the refs' case. But I thought that LeBron's demeanor this whole game was awesome. And it kind of plays into my theory that he was just kind of charting the waters to see what's going to happen next game and so that he can make those adjustments. So I think that LeBron's demeanor was really good this game. But that pretty much takes care of all my thoughts for game 1. Let's talk about game 2. And let's make some predictions. Can Cleveland bounce back? Earlier in the stream, I said that I had Cleveland in 6. I don't feel good about that prediction, but I wouldn't feel good about any prediction. So I think I'm going to stick with my prediction. Game 2, I think it'll be close. I hope it'll be close. That's just me really hoping it'll be close. I could see the Warriors blowing them out. Can I see the Cavs blowing them out? I don't know. The Warriors are really good. I think that the Cavs can get a big lead on them, but I think that the Warriors are just too good to completely get blown out in their own arena. And I think that if the Cavs do get a big lead, the Warriors in game 2, the Warriors will come back and make it close. Hopefully, it'll be a close game. I think the two most likely scenarios are either A, close game, or B, the Warriors have another game like this, and it's kind of, a double-digit lead and a victory for the Dubs. But it's going to be interesting, to see how home court plays. What do you guys think? Let's get you guys involved as we wrap up this chat. Game 2 predictions. Who's going to win game 2? And again, can Cleveland win this series? I certainly think so. Like I said, I have them in 6. John says Cavs by 200 in game 2. Whoa, that would be something. Let's see. Let's play today. USA says, I say that Cleveland isn't gonna bounce back. The Cavs got lucky this game with how many open shots the Warriors missed. That's an interesting take because coming into this series, the thing was the Cavs gave up a lot of open shots to the Celtics, to the Raptors, and like I said earlier, they were doubling a lot, and it worked out for them because the other team didn't make their shots. The Warriors are a much different animal, so that's interesting that you say that. Let's see here. Eloy says Warriors again, not 20 ball though. I'm thinking not by 20. You're saying so. You say the Warriors are gonna win next game, but it's gonna be a close game. I certainly hope so. Nike Addict says Warriors win game 2 by double digits. Wow. Let's see. Brian 12ish says I can't imagine that it would be much different. He's talking about game 2 unless Klay gets hot. Then it's worse for the Cavs. Yeah, what is up with Klay Thompson? He has not been playing good at all in this playoffs, and especially this game. But Klay's gonna do what Klay does. He's gonna shoot no matter what. He could be, 0 for 20. He's gonna shoot that next shot with a guy in his face because, he's earned it. We saw what he did in Game 6 in Oklahoma. So my girlfriend's a little bummed out that Klay isn't playing well because that's her favorite player on the Warriors. Ray's Plays says, I hope they don't get blown out. I'm hoping it's a close game, but Warriors win. So you think the Warriors are going to win. You're just hoping it's not a blowout like me. Raphael says, Cavs bench didn't step up. That's interesting. I don't think the Cavs bench has to step up. It would help, but I think that, the Cavs main guys are going to have to play 40 minutes. They're going to have to be out there. And, Mike Brown had a lineup that did not have Curry and Kevin Durant. I don't like that. They got to have at least one of those guys out there. Tyronn Lue, to his credit, he always has either Kyrie or LeBron out there, and I think that's the right strategy. I think it's the only strategy that the Cavs have to win this series. They got to have at least one of those guys out. Could you imagine Kevin Love out there without either LeBron or Kyrie? It's ridiculous. And I think that didn't help Klay. We talked earlier about how Klay wasn't really playing well. Well, maybe it's because he didn't have Durant or Steph to bring a little bit of the attention off of him. Not saying that Klay can't hold his own, but I'm saying it would help him get much better shots if one of those guys was on the floor with him at all times. So, that's just my opinion. So, James Nguyen says the Cavs win by 3. If the Cavs win by 3, I'm going to shout you out on Instagram because that would be amazing if you can do that. John Landcamer says he feels like the Cavs didn't try. And we talked about that earlier. I felt like LeBron was kind of just charting the waters and he wasn't giving 100% effort after, in the middle of the third quarter because he knew he was going to lose the game and he's just waiting for game 2 and, he's going to make those adjustments. So, like we talked about that earlier, that's some people's problem with LeBron. If that was Kobe, he's going to try to die winning every game he's in, no matter how much he's down. So, Let's Play Today USA is giving us a fun fact. He says, all the Warriors players were a plus in the plus minus on the box score. That is a fun fact. That's crazy. Let's take a look. I have it in the background. You're right. The lowest plus minus was 3. In David West, Matt Barnes, McAdoo. Those guys only played at the end, Barnes and McAdoo. Pat McCaw as well at the end, plus 3. That's interesting. LeBron had the lowest plus minus. He was like a minus 22. He was the worst, or minus 22. He was the worst for the entire Cavs team. So I thought that's interesting. So Armando says the Warriors need to play JaVale more. Just from an entertainment point of view, I want JaVale to play more. We talked about that earlier, Armando. Maybe you could rewind it and get our thoughts on JaVale. Calvin says Warriors won't play this well in terms of turnovers, and LeBron won't make this many either. But I think Curry and Durant have officially locked in for the finals. So you're saying that the Warriors played about as good as they can and they can't replicate that again. But at the same time, you think that Curry and Durant are locked in for this final. So that's interesting. You're kind of playing, two sides of the coin there when you can only play one. But I agree with you. I think that Curry and Durant are locked in for the finals. But I do think the Warriors can play this well. I mean, they didn't have a great first quarter. And I think they scored 30-plus points. They missed a lot of easy shots. Zaza wasn't being aggressive. So I think that the Warriors can play this well and even better. The question is are the Cavs going to play better, and can they win a game in this series? I certainly think they can. Let's see here. Brian 12ish says when Barnes hit that contested 3 as the shot clock ran out at some point in the fourth quarter, I feel like LeBron's hairline receded even more. That's hilarious. James 2134 says Warriors are stacked. They will win this series in 5 or 6. That's true. Coming into this season, people questioned the Warriors' depth because they added Durant and he soaked up a lot of salary cap. So they were wondering how the depth was going to be for the Warriors because obviously last year they had a lot of guys coming off the bench, but their bench has really shown up this year. Like we talked about, JaVale, you got Sean Livingston. I thought Iguodala had a fantastic season. He didn't play very well in the playoffs, but he played very well in this game. He looked healthy. He looked young, springy, and he was dunking all over the place. So I think that the Warriors are stacked. But it was interesting because coming into the season, people questioned how stacked they were going to be because of the addition of Durant. Eloy says, late game LeBron must take over. I think that we talked about it earlier. LeBron had a good game, but not a great game. He also didn't have the opportunity to take over late in the game because the game was kind of out of control already. He does have to show up, but it's not that he hasn't showed up yet. He hasn't had the opportunity. So I like this point from Let's Play Today USA. By the way, guys, thank you so much for joining in the chat. I really appreciate it. Let's Play Today USA says, how many open dunks did Durant get? Like 6? I agree. If you look at the highlights in this game for the Warriors, it looks like a highlight reel. Too many easy buckets. And I'm wondering if that's the Cavs kind of, for lack of a better term, letting that happen so that they could kind of, make adjustments for the next game. Or is it really an issue that the Cavs need to fix? They can kind of be playing this, Matador game where they're, waving the red flag in front of the bull that is the Warriors and letting the bull get whatever he wants. Then in the next game, they, take the flag away and they, kill the bull. I don't know. I don't know if it's that or if this is really an issue for the Cavaliers. But I agree with you. The Warriors had too many easy opportunities, like really, really easy opportunities. So, yeah. We know, Charles, my audio seems a little bit off. I don't know what to do to fix it right at this moment. But we're just going to wrap things up. Get your last comments into the chat. If you're just joining now, earlier we talked about everything that happened in game one. We kind of broke it down. We talked about Steph. We talked about Kevin, LeBron. We talked about JaVale McGee. And then we talked about game two, what we think is going to happen. I think that, I'm sticking with my prediction of Cavs in 6. But again, I'm just hoping for a great series. Calvin says, did you notice how the Cavs were trying to force Curry to switch on LeBron? And it seemed to work, but then started to go away from it, and they resorted to iso ball with LeBron, Kyrie, or Love. I agree with you. They were trying to get Curry to switch on LeBron, but I think the Warriors played it really well. Curry showed, but he didn't just show. He bumped the roll handler, the pick and roll handler, which would have been LeBron, and then he recovered quickly, so he bumped, and his next prerogative was to go straight to his original man. And I don't think it worked, but I think that's the best thing. It's better than having Curry switch on LeBron. But I do agree with you, Calvin. The Cavs did resort to iso ball, which was unfortunate. It didn't work out for them. But I don't know. Is that the Cavs' real game plan, or is that them just kind of sacrificing this game so that they could really bite the Warriors in the ass in game 2, game 3, game 4, or however many it's going to go? Saying hi, how do you say your name, bro? Saying ha bro 30 says, do you think LeBron will continue his decent free throw shooting from tonight? Looks like he changed his stance and shot again. I don't know if he did change his stance and shot from the free throw line, but I do think his decent free throw shooting is going to come up. He's got the clutch badge, in my opinion. Now, I mean, what he did last year, what he's been doing in the playoffs, I think that he's going to step up to the challenge if they foul him. If they hack LeBron, that'll be a mistake. I don't think the Warriors will, but if they do, it'll be a mistake, in my opinion. So, yeah. Okay, next comment. Austin Hill, how many turnovers did the Cavs have? They played horrible transition defense. Can't let Kyrie and Love get on Durant. I think, Love isn't a very good matchup, but let's see how many turnovers they had. The Cavaliers had, do they have turnovers here? 20 turnovers. That's a lot. That's way too much. But I do agree with you. They did not play good transition defense. I mean, Durant, open dunk. And that's the effect the Warriors have with all their shooters. The paint is going to be wide open. But rule number 1, stop the ball. Then, you continue after that. But if you don't stop the ball, you're going to give up easy dunks to Durant. That's how Durant got 38 points. I mean, he had 8 wide open dunks. I mean, flushes. It's no one contesting him whatsoever. So, Pat Met says, why wasn't LeBron guarding KD? He did start out on him, but I think that the Warriors have so much movement on the offensive end that it's impossible to stay with your guy, and they really force people to make the right reads, the right switches, the right rotations, and the right adjustments, because they have so much movement. It's really beautiful. When I watch the Warriors, a lot of time I'll miss the guy making the shot because I'm watching the off-the-ball movements. I'm really intrigued of how they play ball with their split actions, with their cutting to the rim, with their handoffs, all of these things. I really enjoy watching the Warriors play basketball. I love iso ball too. Like Kyrie, iso ball is one of the most entertaining things that I've ever seen in my life. But the Warriors, the way they play basketball, it's really hard for you to just stick on your man. So I think that's how LeBron didn't end up on KD at the end of the possession. Because, the Cavs had to make switches and adjustments in that possession earlier. So, Nike Addict says, hate the Warriors, are stacked defense for Bron. His team is stacked too. No excuses. That's something that I want to bring up, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. People are criticizing the Warriors because of how stacked they are, and they are stacked. And whether you agree with it or not, the Warriors got 4 amazing players. Whether a team should have that chance and opportunity, it's up to you. That's your opinion. But they did it fairly, legally, and they also did it very smartly, if that's even a word. Is smartly a word? But what I mean by that is look at their core. Steph, Clay, Draymond. They drafted these guys. 3 out of their 4 best players they drafted. And you look at Steph, I think he was like the 7th or 8th pick. Clay was another, late lottery pick, I think he was like the 9th pick or something like that. Then you got Draymond. I think he was a 2nd rounder. I mean, before that, Harrison Barnes, I think he was the 7th pick as well. They drafted all of these guys, and they made right signing decisions. I mean, they got Sean Livingston. Was he a hot commodity coming into free agency before he came to the Warriors? I don't think so. They got all of these guys fairly. Steph, they signed him to a really good contract, 42 mil over the span of 4 years or 4 or 5 years, or 4 years. So it was about a little over 10, 11 million per year. So they signed him to that great deal. That gave them the ability to get Kevin Durant. Had Steph got more money in that deal, and the reason why he got that deal is because he had ankle problems at that time. Then he kind of had this meteoric rise to stardom, but still they signed him to that deal where, you look at guys like Mike Conley, who I love he's the most paid NBA player in the league. I mean, it's crazy, but they got all these guys fairly. The Cavs are the ones who signed all of these guys, traded for all of these guys, and they didn't build through the draft, and they didn't organically build. They got LeBron, they did draft Kyrie, then they traded their draft pick for Kevin Love, and he's been playing really good, but I wonder, how would Andrew Wiggins be on the Cavs? That youth, that athleticism. Would he be better? Is the best case scenario for Wiggins better than the best case scenario for Love? I don't know. I'd have to look into it more. But Let's Play Today USA says Cavs got first pick in the draft. They did, and they got it multiple times. Well, one of those guys, or 2 of those guys, Andrew Wiggins and Anthony Bennett, aren't on the team anymore. They traded him for Kevin Love. So is Kevin Love worth 2 first round? Is Kevin Love worth 2 first overall picks? I know Anthony Bennett wasn't really valued when they traded for Kevin Love. He was kind of a bust, but I'm just saying, like, base value, is Kevin Love worth 2 first picks overall? In my opinion, he's not. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know. So let's see. Clay was the 11th pick in the draft. That's right. He was the 11th pick. He came out of Washington State, I believe, or Washington State. Yep, the Cougars. Eloy says he much rather have Wiggins than Love. Honestly, I interesting. I did not see CJ McCollum's tweet during the game. Let me research that. Someone's asking me what I think. Let's see what CJ McCollum says. All right, he says, Clay gonna get another ring and find his own squad. They better enjoy him while he there. Well, the Ramona Shelburne reported earlier that Kevin Durant is willing to take less to keep his core. So if that's true, and he could just be saying that to look good in the media and look good to his teammates, but if that's true, I think that's scary, and I think that Clay stays in the Bay. But if that's not true, Clay definitely is not going to be on the Warriors. They just can't afford it. They got to pay Steph. They're already paying Draymond. They got to pay Durant. So I don't think that's true. They can't afford to have 4 max players. That's impossible. So, I don't know. I think that Clay might probably, the odds are that he's going to end up on another team very soon. So I think he has 1 more year on his contract. Zevin Wishes says fluke, or are the Warriors really that dominant? They're dominant, man. It's so hard, man. Zevin, it's so hard to get to the finals, not just once, but 2 times. And now we're talking about 3 straight trips to the finals for both the Warriors and the Cavs. These 2 teams are dominant no matter what way you want to cut it. If you want to talk about the talent in the league, which I think it's fantastic. I think there's more talent than there's ever been. I just think teams aren't building the right teams to beat the top tier teams. So, but I think that no question, the Warriors dominant, the Cavs are dominant. Getting to 2 straight finals is so difficult. Think about it. Durant and Westbrook, 2 of the top 5 players in the league, could not get to 2 straight finals. But LeBron's going to his 7th, and the Warriors are going to their 3rd straight. You know, you look at guys like Shaq and Kobe, 3 straight finals, 4 and 5 years. I mean, it's so hard just to get to the finals and go back to back. Yes, both of these teams, including the Warriors, are dominant. It's no fluke whatsoever. Austin Hill asks, do you think Steph will keep playing the way he is? And do you think Kyrie will have more of an impact next game? Here's the thing. We've seen Steph play better in the finals. I think it was game 4 in Cleveland. He had 38 points. 38 points in the finals. And then I think game 5 of the 2015 finals, he played really well also. So we've seen him play better in the finals. I think that this had the most ridiculous Steph moments in one finals game where he was just pulling up and he was dancing and all of that stuff. So I get why you would say that, but I think that, yeah, he can still play the way he played. He could still play better, but he could also play worse, as we know. Eloy is asking me, how many times do I think the Cavs and Warriors will meet in a row? I don't know. It's really hard to get to 3 straight. We've never seen it. 4 straight now we're talking about. I don't know. Let's just get through this series before we start talking about, future finals matchups. Aaron says this series was over before it even started. It only goes to 5 if the Warriors want to win at home. That is interesting. We haven't had, between the Cavs and Warriors, both teams won on the other team's floor. So the Warriors won in Cleveland in 2015, and in last year, the Cavs won in Golden State. So, yeah, I mean, can we get a home team to win in their building with their crowd and their fans? I think that would be really fun. Calvin says, oh, you almost got me. I'm going to talk about the Curry for tomorrow. I'm going to be recording a video. Hopefully it's up. I'm going to make a video live right after this stream of this shoe right here, the LeBron Soldier 10s. This is, let me get rid of this overlay. This shoe is awesome, guys. And I can't wait for you guys to see my review. I'm really loving this shoe aesthetically, performance-wise. I really love it. I recorded and edited the video. It's private right now, but I'm going to make it live after this stream because I didn't want it live during the game because no one would watch it. But the LeBron Soldier 11, such a dope sneaker. Can't wait to play in them tomorrow. I'm stoked. After this game, I was like, I need to play basketball, but I had to do this stream for you guys. So tomorrow, I'm really stoked to play basketball. I'm jonesing for some on-court action. But anyways, guys, I really, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate everyone who joined in the chat, joined this live stream. I appreciate all of you guys. The channel has been doing really well this past month or so. I really just appreciate you guys. I love basketball. I love sneakers. I love making videos. It's great. I appreciate everyone who came to the stream, and hopefully you guys continue to come back to the channel, watch the content, watch the streams, participate in them, and have healthy, fun conversations about the topic the video is presenting. This time it's the finals. Hopefully it's a great series. This was a good game despite it being a large margin of victory, but hopefully the next game is close, and hopefully the games in the future will be close as well. Again, thank you guys so much for joining the stream. Give me a thumbs up. Be sure to leave a comment. Show the channel some love, because this channel, while I may be editing, putting content up, and managing it, it's really your guys' channel, because without you guys, I wouldn't even be doing this, If no one watches the stuff, why would I do it? You guys are what fuels this channel. So thank you again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next stream. I'm going to kick back, play some PS4, some For Honor, PS4 For Honor, 4 Honor, or maybe some 2K. I don't know. Add me at JAHRONMON. You can do so on Instagram and Twitter. I'll put the information right there at JAHRONMON. Go follow me. Thank you for watching the stream. I'll catch you guys